Greetings and welcome to another round of the Master Phil in Your Corner podcast. This is episode number 81. We're talking guns, Second Amendment, and the New Jersey carry laws. And here we are with a very good friend of mine, a former police officer, Jim Hosie.
Hey, Phil, thanks for having me, buddy.
Oh, pleasure. So Jim and I work together with P3, and we're going to hit them in our commercials. But before we get into this very crucial discussion today, we're going to talk about our sponsors, because without any of this, it wouldn't be responsible. First, it wouldn't be possible, and we have to be responsible. So philross.com, we have one-on-one training, kettlebells, bodyweight, defensive tactics, and so forth. Come check us out. The site is being revamped right now. You can still contact us, but not everything's listed like it should be yet. But it's under construction, should be out in a week or so. We have the Body Bell method, world's only kettlebell bodyweight and dynamic tension certification. We have products for kettlebell training and other training, kettlebells, iso chains, books, so forth, available on Dragon Door. We have 15 for healthy, organic, energy boosting weight control supplements. We have upboxer.com. I'm one of their athletes there. Come check them out. Don't forget to click on my link so I get a little credit. And we have burnalong.com. I'm a featured instructor there, along with my wife. Join me and over 2,000 other instructors, only $14.95 a month. Burnalong.com. Don't forget to go to the Master Phil in Your Corner website. Click on that exact link because you get a special discount. And of course, the P3 training group. Plan, prepare, protect. Are you, your family, or your company prepared? Come see us, and we'll help you out. We have Health is a Wealth. It's an interactive health, fitness, and wellness platform. Join it for a free membership. Check it out, healthisawealth.com. I'm also available for speaking engagements and coaching through the Professional Speakers Bureau and zwinningmindset.com. Check it out. Pay-per-view flicks, the owners of Warrior Island. They've launched a new platform where we have education, fitness, health, wellness, all these videos right at your fingertips. And again, if you'd like to be a sponsor on the Master Phil in Your Corner podcast, or if you want to check out any of our former episodes, be sure to go to masterphilinyourcorner.com. So, Jim, before we get totally into this, why don't we tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you bring to the table when it comes to the Second Amendment rights.
Phil, I'm a retired police lieutenant from a police department in Hudson County. I did 25 years of service. During that time, I did a lot of training. I was the in-house instructor for a lot of different elements of the PD, specifically firearms, throughout 20 years. I'm still a NRA certified firearms instructor.
Excellent.
And, transitioning over to my civilian life in 2019, I see things differently now. I definitely wish we were in a better spot in this state with 2A and concealed carry, but we're getting there slowly.
Yeah, well, we're in a better spot than we were, but because actually in the 90s, I had a carry permit and people couldn't believe it. So I used to do armed security. And actually, I bodyguarded Corzine before when he was running.
Oh my God, John.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Dating us, Phil.
I know. Hey, remember, I'm a little bit older than a lot of people here. So, the laws have changed a little bit. I mean, New Jersey is what we have, about 9 million people in the state, and about 1,200 people have carry permits right now. So that's like 0.0013% of the population of New Jersey is allowed to legally carry. But that's changed, though. So that's changed recently with the new Supreme Court ruling. So, what are your thoughts on that? Being a former police officer, having people now being armed, is that something else that also a lot of police officers have to be cautious of, be aware of?
It's definitely going to change. It's got to change their mentality, their training. It's got to change a lot of things. I know we discussed recently. I went to a course recently. We talked about active shooter, and we were talking about the response and what to do. Now, something that we never considered prior to this was, as a first responder going to the scene, what if you come across somebody who's legitimately concealed carry, and he's in this facility trying to actually save lives? It's a dynamic we never dealt with, because you see the gun, you're thinking the shooter,
of course,
and then even from the perspective of the victim, someone trapped inside. If you're a concealed carry guy or girl, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you going in to take out the threat? Or are you still gonna follow the procedure of, run, hide, fight, but carry? Things are changing.
Yeah.
And we never thought about it.
Yeah, the thing is that there's so many different aspects to this concealed carry in New Jersey right now, because technically it's not even concealed carry, it's an open carry. Because that was the way the law is written right now. I mean, I'm sure it's going to change, but the way the laws were written were specifically for security agents, so they could carry.
Right.
Which I kind of like the idea of that, because heck, if I'm carrying and I reach my arm up and someone sees my gun, they're not going to freak out and I'm going to get dinged for brandishing a weapon, which would probably happen in the state. But personally, I would never ever want someone to see me carrying, because if a bad guy comes in, who are they going to shoot first?
I mean, you lose tactical advantage.
Yeah.
There is something to it, but honestly, I wish I could tell you. I wanted to come here today and tell you, what do you want to know? I'll tell you everything you want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. I try to keep up on it, and it changes.
Yes.
So I don't know what's going on.
And there was just they just put more measures through in the legislature last week, and then there's going to be more put through in January. Basically they're really trying to make it very restrictive if you look at New Jersey, as a whole. But you brought something up about, what if there's a crime scene and you have a person with a concealed carry, and God forbid you do have to actually use it and take someone down. I mean, what we've been instructed to do is remove the weapon, put our hands up here, get on your knees, and just be ready and be prepared to get cuffed and get cuffed hard.
Yeah, you could speak more to this. You can speak much better to this than me, but imagine being a responding officer and your heartbeat is so elevated. You have complete tunnel vision. All you're doing is the shots fired, people are down, and then you see somebody with a handgun. Right. It's really, really tough to not make a bad decision there. It's really, really
very difficult.
Consistently, like a ranger or a SEAL. I mean, that's a really tough decision to make, because you are so amped up, and you see is one person with a gun. And meanwhile, it's not your actor, it's your victim who fought back and won, but a tragedy could happen. It's a very difficult thing to deal with. Yeah, you've got to desist right away. I mean, it's got to be immediate.
So that's that's one thing that we were taught. Now, hopefully, the people can have the presence of mind to do that, because hey, I don't know how many people have ever been in a situation where they've had to either take someone's life or defend someone's life or something like that. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on emotionally, physiologically with the person who does that, and then you have to think, oh gosh, I have to put this gun down that just saved my life or saved somebody else's life, and now I have to submit. That's a whole nother mindset.
The last thing your body wants to do is release that gun.
Yes, because that just saved your life or saved somebody else's life.
But have you heard the stories? I mean, are they out there? Is this happening where innocents are getting shot by first responders? Because I'm not hearing it.
I haven't heard it yet either.
Even in other states, I'm not hearing it. And there was a lot of talk about how this can create a dangerous situation, everybody armed, but I'm not hearing it.
The funny thing is that you never really hear too many people who support defensive tactics and so forth saying that it's going to cause more issues. Most of the people that I speak with, even in law enforcement, support the notion of an armed citizenry, because look, as much, and I'm a huge police supporter, but the police are there in minutes when seconds count. When someone is following you to your car, or they grab you, throw you on the ground or something, you can call the cops you want. They're never going to get there in time. It's over. If somebody breaks into your house, okay, maybe you have an alarm, maybe you called 911, but guess what? You got this person right there, right now.
You're your own first responder.
Yep. Yeah. As I say, personal protection is a personal responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that kind of bothers me, if we're looking at the law, because we don't have a stand your ground statute in the state. So one of my issues is that the qualification test for New Jersey is either the HQC1 or the HQC2, and both of these start you out at 25 yards.
Nuts.
Okay, that's nuts, right? Okay, if I go and I'm defending myself and shoot someone 75 feet away from me, I'm going to jail for capital murder.
You're not going to hit them anyway. You're going to hit somebody else.
So why are we practicing that far? I mean, look, again, I've been shooting a long time. adept. I like it. It's a hobby. I love doing it. I can pass this test. I did. I passed it with 2 of the guns I told you before. And I'm going to go back for a 3rd one too, just for fun. But
now
how many people
build a scenario around that, Phil?
Yeah.
I know you're a phenomenal shot, but build a scenario around that. Someone's in your home, low light conditions, you're in panic, your wife is here. I mean, things are going to change. Your accuracy is going to go down the hill.
It's going to go down, and I'm not shooting from 75 feet away.
Yeah,
that's insane. And the things the reason I think that was put in there was just to keep people from getting certified, because it's very hard to shoot that far, especially using a pistol. Yeah, especially if you have a shorter barrel pistol. As we know, the shorter the barrel, the less accurate it becomes. So the whole purpose of the carry concealed is I wanted to use a little snub nose, which is perfect from hey, I'm not going to shoot more than 30 feet away.
Beautiful weapon. Yeah.
It's a beautiful weapon. How many people are going to be able to pass a test with a snub nose?
With a 2-inch barrel, 25 yards. Yeah,
it's very, very difficult, especially 357. That's got some kick to it. Yeah, that it's very tough to, if you get one shot, then to make the second one that you have to do. It's very, very difficult. So I'm looking at it like this. If what about a female? And like people would say, well, gosh, all sex is saying, well, they're not. We're stronger. Okay, end of story. And because I remember that also when they first adopted the Glock as a service weapon, a lot of the female officers, they were experiencing jams. Why? Because their wrists were popping back and it was jamming.
I can tell you that firsthand. I went through the same thing with qualifying female officers. The recoil was tough to handle at times.
Yeah,
that's not everybody, but more so than not, it was definitely tough to handle that recoil, especially when you go from a 6 Sauer to a Glock. That's a lighter gun. A lot more recoil, and that affects the scores. That affects the accuracy.
Yeah, definitely. And of course the operational weapon, because it will jam. If your wrist is popping up and the round doesn't get ejected properly or seated properly, so I know a lot of female officers had problems with it. So let's say you're a female, or even someone who's just maybe a little bit older, and how are they going to hit something that they can handle from 25 yards away? Yeah. So what is that doing? That's telling them, hey, you know what? You can't carry. So the whole point of it is to have people who are going to be victims be able to protect themselves with a firearm. Look, if you have a 200-pound guy grabs a 100-pound woman, she's done. Yeah. She's done.
Yeah, I agree.
And how's she going to defend herself with a firearm if she can't pass this test?
Since I've been retired, I carry just about everywhere. Yeah, as a retired law enforcement. But since I've been retired, I've never had an incident yet. I've never had a close call yet. Thankfully, I'm grateful for that.
It's not
but I just don't. I think there's definitely a picture being painted by people that says, well, once people get carry permits, forget it. It's going to be gunfights at the OK Corral at every street corner. And we already have that in most major cities.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not people, right now. It's not innocents who are just going out and getting carry permits. It's not them. Yeah, that's why I was telling people, I haven't heard the stories. No, if they're out there, I haven't heard them. But I have heard the opposite. I have heard of people who carry concealed, who are saving their own lives. Yes, and saving others.
Or saving others, like that guy in Minnesota. That's a hell of a shot. He did it with a Glock 19 from 40 yards away. Yeah, 8 out of 10 into the perp.
Yeah. To the in a stressful environment.
That 22-year-old kid. That's a cool cat. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah. The other thing, what also came to mind when you're saying, well, it's not of course, the legal people going through the legal means. How many people are going to go through all the steps? The steps for you to get a carry permit in Jersey?
It's so tough.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. First of all, you have to get, you have to consent to a mental health check, right? You have to get 3 references. You have to fill out the application, take the application, make 2 sides, your references on one side, the application on the other. Then whatever guns you're having, you have to list those, right? And serial numbers and everything, right? So forth, so on. And everything has to be notarized and submitted. And some of the things in triplicate, notarized, original copies, originals, right? Oh, you also have to submit your test scores. You have to do that. And then you have to get fingerprinted. And you have to submit the receipt for the fingerprint and everything. And then it has to go to you submit all this paperwork plus another check, because you have to do the test. It's $150, and then $50 for the check to be processed. The whole thing to be processed, and then you have to wait anywhere 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't know what it is. I don't know how long it's going to take. But I'll guarantee you that because I took these scores and I sent them off to Florida for out of state.
Yeah.
All I have to do is give my
Which is
fingerprints and
easier.
I'm in.
Yeah, which is easier.
All I have to do is give my fingerprints and I'm in.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
now how often is Jersey doing this? How often do you have to do this?
Every 2 years.
Every
Have to
2
go through the
years.
whole process. I can just imagine the criminals doing this process.
Yeah.
They carry the gun. They could care less. They
Yeah.
care. Oh, and by the way, every single gun that you want to carry in the state of New Jersey, you have to qualify with. So most states, if you qualify, you can carry virtually any gun.
I'm in that same boat too, though. Whatever I qualify with, that's all I can carry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm qualifying I'm qualifying with a flashlight.
That makes
I'm-
perfect
I'm
sense.
required to, but I haven't had carried a flashlight yet. Walking around
That's
the wall or
funny.
anything, but I gotta shoot a flashlight. I'm ready,
Just in case.
just in case.
Hey, if
Lights
it's
go off.
dark, hey, I'm gonna
ready.
get you. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's the way they make it up, and it is difficult. And I love my wife to carry. I would love to have that.
Yeah, I
I
want
have
my wife
that
to carry
comfort.
too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You know? I have to move to a different state for that to happen because I don't know if my wife's gonna be able to qualify.
Yeah, I've been working that angle for a while, so
Yeah.
trying to do that too, but not there yet.
Well,
But you know, it's gonna require, if this goes through and it happens,
Mhm.
and we become a carry state,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to start conditioning our people
Yes.
to this environment. And that's a lot of what we do at the P3 training group. You know,
Mhm.
we train people to, we're not stopping this active shooter. We're not, it's never gonna stop now.
Nope.
This is a part of American culture.
Yep.
So we now got to condition ourselves to respond to it,
Right.
because you can talk about politics all day long.
I can
You're still
care
gonna
less.
have an active shooter by the other week somewhere.
Yep.
So now we got to condition our people, which is what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Condition our people to not deny what's happening.
Mhm.
Act, make some movements, do something, fight back. Don't just go,
Mhm.
is that a fire alarm I just
Right.
heard? We don't want that anymore.
No,
Those precious
we can't.
seconds. And that's
Yes.
all part of this gun culture. Now I think it's gonna have to happen. We're gonna have to become exposed to it and just learn to live with this gun
Well,
culture.
here's the thing is that people have to understand that violence is inherent in our society. You don't have to like it, but you better be prepared to deal with it. So, we have to know how to deal with this if you want to survive. It's part of everyday living. Look, you don't have to walk around like John Belushi in Animal House, jumping corner to corner, but you know what you do? Scan the area.
Yeah.
Look around, and I know that's what we teach in our course
Yep,
too, right?
yep.
We teach that in the course. The SIFTI, the scan, identify, predict, decide, execute.
Yeah.
You want to see what's going on around you. You have to be alert, have to be in tune. If you're sitting here, texting and looking at your phone all the time or bopping around to music, not paying attention, you're a target. And it all goes together with the carry permit.
And that's the
too.
number one problem we have is these phones.
Yeah.
They're incredibly
100%.
distracting on a day-to-day basis, on a life basis.
Yes.
They are just incredibly distracting. They are
Right.
just consuming. I just heard something the other day. Again, I know you know about this stuff because you're in on everything. That Elon Musk is getting closer and closer to this Neuralink to chip the brain.
That's what happens.
Is that nuts?
I will never allow it to happen.
People will
I know
to
they
get
will.
the edge.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
Yeah, there's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I have a manual transmission in my car. I'm not being controlled by that. No, thank you.
Wow. That's another topic for another.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Another
we
discussion
talk
another
about
day,
how brain control, what's going on. But if you look at some of the hoops that you have to go through to get this carry permit, which I'm glad that it's finally opened up in New Jersey because it is a constitutional right. It clearly says in the Constitution, and it's really funny. It's got to be a very important thing to have because the First Amendment was free speech. The second one was, hey, you better be able to back up what you say.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not in the bottom of the totem pole.
No, it's number two.
Yeah.
Number one, say what you want to say. Number two, carry a gun. Okay. And honestly, our state has been in violation of the Constitution for decades by not permitting us to carry guns. And look, the funniest thing is, I love this analogy where they're like, taking guns away from people is going to lower crime. That's like cutting the horns off the antelope so that the cheetah doesn't eat it. It's not going to attack it. You're just making us more vulnerable. And so I remember years ago when they do down in Florida. They changed the plates of the rental cars because all the criminals knew that people who were renting cars in Florida didn't have guns on them, so they were robbing them constantly.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, that was happening in the 90s. because everyone in Florida is armed, and the criminals know that if they come,
I never heard
it's
that.
crazy. Yeah. So I mean, right there, then and there, it stops a lot of crime, because look, if you have the potential of getting shot, you're not going to do it. It's definitely going to be a deterrent. Maybe
Fast forward a couple of months, you get your carry permit.
Yeah.
Go about your business. Wherever you plan to go that day, wherever your day takes you, at some point, you're going to be in a violation zone. And that's going to be the next step.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing.
This is where you can and cannot go with this firearm, even though you got it legally. And according to the Constitution, is going to be, you can't go to these 97 places ever throughout your day. It's a violation.
They already have. So one of the things that we have to know too is that there's two levels of this. One is where you're not allowed. Two, where it's not welcome. Okay, where it's not allowed, it's illegal. Okay? So you can get trouble, bring it to a school, so forth.
Yeah.
But right now, you can bring it to churches, and you can bring it into other places as well. If they have a sign that says, "Oh, not welcome," but there's no statute, no law below it, because they have to state the law, then you're not breaking the law, you're just breaking the rule. So they can actually leave. Now, if you decide not to leave, well, then you're a disorderly person, but you're not going to be in violation of a gun law.
I see those signs at the mall. You see them at the mall?
Yeah, there's some.
In the mall now.
Do the criminals, are they paying attention? And that's another funny thing, which I know you know about too. Malls do not have the they don't have to go the obligation to report crime. They don't have to report it. It's private property. So a lot of people have no idea how much crime is going on in these malls.
Yeah.
You see, like Garden State Plaza.
I have a couple of friends who are in preparedness.
Yeah.
They tell me how busy it is over there.
Yes.
That's a busy place.
That's
Inside and outside.
Yeah, I have several friends over there too.
Yeah.
Guys that trained with me and so forth, and I've heard some stories.
My kids, they don't go there.
Yeah, no one. If my kid wants to go, I'm going with you, and I'm sure that's the bottom line. Because it's crazy.
And what a way to live!
I know.
Way to live.
That's how we have to live now. It's
and not going down a political rabbit hole, but politically, it's not getting better as far as tough on crime stance. It's not getting any better.
No.
What's the recourse? What do we do? What does the average Joe do?
We should be allowed to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, take defensive tactics courses. Learn to use a weapon. If you can't, and if you can't, get some pepper spray. I have a whole knife course that I've been doing.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens. I just got approached by some other organizations to teach a knife course, and I'm coming out with a whole video series on that as well, because knives are all around, and they're not illegal yet, not in England. So
there's no illegality with knives. I don't know anything about this.
Yes. If you attack me and I stab you, I'm going to jail, because it's a one-on-one situation. Now, if there's 3-on-1, a little different. But you can't go and brandish a knife like that. That's considered a threat. There's a whole bunch of laws around about the size and type of knife. Like, you can't have a dagger type knife, dual-edged.
Right.
That's illegal to carry anywhere in Jersey. Folding knives, again, depends on the size and where that it's exposed. If you have it in your pocket, then it's concealed weapon. If you have it on the outside, it's a tool. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different rules around that. I actually go over all that stuff in seminars too.
I'll have to go.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with that.
That's good to know.
Yeah, but it's funny. I was also looking at the reciprocity of states. It's kind of funny. I did a little chart here. So, the three. I have a Utah carry permit. I got my Florida, of course, New Jersey. New Jersey only has reciprocity with 15 states. So that means if you have a Jersey carry permit, you can carry in those states. Okay. It's funny, but I don't think that New Jersey, acknowledges anyone else's carry permits.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
That's what I've seen. So, it's kind of not very cool.
Now, does New York recognize New Jersey's?
Nope, they're not on the list. They're not on the list. This is the list as of right now. I just did this a couple of days ago. But Utah, there's 31 states of reciprocity. Florida has 37. So Florida, has a deal. If you have reciprocity with us, we have reciprocity with you. So what the funny thing was that going through these, there are very few that I thought South Carolina would have more, but they only have Florida as reciprocity. But you see states like Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, none of these places offer any type of reciprocity.
Yeah.
But then, you have other ones like, because Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Delaware. Yeah, Delaware.
What's going over in Oregon? Have you been tracking that?
The Oregon does not.
There is something going on in Oregon.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
looking
yeah.
to
They're
right ban guns completely. Or something
yeah.
like that?
What they're trying to do is make it so that you can only have 5 rounds in a gun.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that was the latest I heard. So they want any gun over 5 rounds.
I thought it was something like a removal of guns completely.
Now, this is what they're probably trying to do. But the last thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's see how that works out.
Yeah, see how that's working.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's, man, it just, I don't understand how when you want to disarm someone and leave them, defenseless. And the thing is that, when I was younger, I never really cared much about guns. I was a fighter, so forth, and I'm like, I don't need guns, I got my hands and so forth. But then you get a little older, get a little more responsibility. I mean, I don't just have to protect me; I have to protect my family.
Yeah.
And it's funny. One thing that really got me into it was I started doing a martial art called Bondo, and it's a Burmese art, and Bondo means way of the warrior. And what we did in Bondo is that first you learn how to use your own body, kicking, punching, grappling, striking, so forth, and then you move on to weapons. So we have knives, like a kukri, it's a short sword. That's the one I used on the TV show, and then use sticks, short sticks, and long sticks, and then you move on to a bow. That's when I got into bow hunting, just because I started using a bow because it's a great weapon. And then the last one would be firearms. So you want to be the complete warrior. But the thing that it starts with knowing your body and doing your striking and kicking and punching and being able to do that prior to having an extension of your body, which would be the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives you, it also gives you a really good idea of what it's like, what the repercussions of a violent act can be. Because if you're fighting with someone and you get punched in the nose, you kick them, right? It's real. It's live. You know that what you're doing can inflict pain. And I think that having that mentality sets a good base for you then to use weapons.
Yeah. I would tell any young aspiring police officer now, I've heard this in the past where they've said to me, or they're in the academy and they're telling me how they can't shoot well. But I would tell them now in modern days, if you're not willing to fight, and if you're not ready to commit yourself to fighting first, before the handgun. I know you need the handgun you got to qualify to pass the academy. I get it. But in modern day policing, you better be ready to dedicate yourself to some kind of hand-to-hand combat training, because that gun, it's changed. They don't want the optics of punching somebody now are so bad in America. Even as a police officer fighting a criminal, the optics of an elbow strike or a punch to the face, the optics are so bad. You need to know more. It's not like it was, and I missed that boat. I mean, it was different when I was younger. It's different now.
Oh yeah.
And I would say that's critical. The handgun, we can walk you through that. We can get you through that. But you're going to need to really know how to defend yourself.
Yeah, and that's again one of the reasons we put together our P3. And as you know, I've trained a few officers that went through the State Police Academy. Some of these guys, and here's another thing too that's a little bit different, is that a lot of these people have never had a fight.
Yeah.
And then they have to know how to fight. I don't know how it was when you were growing up, but I mean, I was in fights constantly, and I was a bouncer, and bodyguard, and so forth. But these young guys, a lot of them young men and women have not had street fights.
Yeah,
it's different.
I mean, I wasn't like sitting there boxing people every day either, but I had a couple of in my time, and a couple as a police officer, but never to the point where I'm battling every day. But now, I mean,
these guys,
the media loves these videos.
I don't know. And everyone's videotaping this. They're trying to help somebody. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Do you just see what happened with Christie's niece?
Yeah.
Took 6 cops and she bit one, kicked one in the groin, like was going nuts, taunting them and everything.
Do you not see a pattern of seeing those videos more and more, of seeing 2, 3, 4 cops struggling? Because now they know what I can't do, what I'm going to get hit for, what I may go to jail for. I know I can't do these consistent elbow strikes
Right.
like we used to be able to do.
Yeah.
I can't do the knee strikes. Nobody wants to see that anymore. That's nuts to me.
That's why, we have our defensive tactics system, which incorporates a lot of different things that are very effective. But the problem there lies the practice. People have to practice it. And here's something that people don't realize too, whether we're speaking to guns or hand to hand, people have no idea when you talked about it before, when the heart is pumping, the adrenaline's going, your accuracy is going to be off when you have a gun and you're shooting. And once you start shooting, you're going to keep shooting. Okay. The same thing when you are in a confrontation with someone, that person does not want you to control them. So for you to control someone and not hurt them, or not put them in some type of pain compliance, is extremely difficult, if not impossible. So there has to be some level of pain in order to put someone in a position of control. People who've never done that have no concept of this. Look, I've done jiu-jitsu. I'm a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I did it for a long time. I was a wrestler. Like grabbing someone and roll around trying to get them. Okay, it's very tough. They're fighting you.
Yeah.
And then the number one thing that stops people is pain. And if you can't put any pain on them, well, then you have to be really, really good to be able to get them in positions that they can't move. It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, we talk about this with the fight portion of our training.
Yeah.
With the run, high, fight paradigm, and
yeah,
it's tough to sit there and try to. And I'm in the same boat. I'm not the exception. I'm not saying I'm above this. Me too, included. If I'm at my office space in a building and something kicks off, and now we're hiding, and now we're preparing to fight. I mean, that's really hard to train someone to pick up some pens. Think about where you're going to place these pens in somebody's body to cause death or serious bodily harm. It's a very tough. It's about conditioning.
Yes,
we've got to condition ourselves to think differently in modern America. Things are just not what it was. Things are different, and part of that is the training, like you said, with firearms, with hand to hand, but also with this active shooter, triple threat that we're dealing with. We want to get out, we want to survive, but man, what do you do when it gets into your office, into your room?
You have no choice.
It's definitely a condition-based training.
And the thing is that, they can also smell the fear too, and the thing is that here's something I always try to get across to people too. When you're in that situation, you're not going to negotiate with this person. You're not going to rationalize with them. You're not going to talk them out of it. You're not going to appeal to their inner sense or whatever it is. You got to fight, and they don't look at you as a human being. They don't care less. You're an object in the way, or whatever they want, they're going to take. They don't look at you or value you as a human, or even comprehend that you're a human. They just want what they want, and you're in the way.
Yeah, just imagine a scenario where, this active killer, active threats coming into your office, gets in, but you happen to be a concealed carry permit holder, and now you bring a fight to them. They are not ready.
No,
they're not ready.
No.
Remember Mike Tyson quote? Right?
Everyone's got a plan.
Yeah. So imagine that punch in the face. When you get to 2 rounds from the concealed carry holder. It changes the game a lot.
Everyone's got a plan till I punch him.
Yep.
Everyone's got a plan till here's something else. I don't know if you remember this. Years ago, there was a guy with a samurai sword on a ferry in New York, and he said he was crazy. He was chopping sliced up like 3 people, something like that, and the cop drew down on him. All of a sudden, he became sane. Yeah, why? Because he had someone more firepower, someone that could put him down. And the cop didn't shoot him, but he stopped him. The guy ceased his actions. But all of a sudden, he's sane now. You know what? If he was insane, he would have charged him.
There's got to be some entity out there that at some point is going to note the incidents that occur where a concealed carry holder shoots an innocent. I want to see those stats down the line in Jersey, like 5 years from now. Someone's doing this. Yeah. And I'm curious what it's going to be.
Well, I read the gun magazines and so forth, and there's a ton of information there. Like every month, there's incident upon incident upon incident as if someone has a concealed carry, saves themselves or somebody else.
Yeah, I see it.
And you never see that once on the news, ever. And the other thing is, if you want to talk about the inflated stats, most of the deaths caused by gunshot or suicides anyway. So
really,
54%.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna see that anywhere.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No. But I have all this data.
You do?
Yeah.
I know you do.
It was so funny.
I know you do.
I was talking to somebody and he's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, boom. Hold it right up because I had it. And he's like, wow, I didn't know that. You gotta talk.
Yeah.
So most of the deaths.
And that's an easy task to get accurate data in a world of misinformation.
Well, I love this site, statista.com.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. See, best site in the world. All the stats you want. Statista.com. Yep. Yeah.
And check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
I
They
will.
have great. Oh, by the way, Statista, if you're listening, you know that I am available for commercials, so you can use me anytime. I also use you in my college classes. Yeah, dude, I recommend it to my students.
Good to know. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. But the things that people see, I think it's a lack of education, especially when you hear people like I don't know, maybe I'm not going to. I'll say just our president talking about semi-automatic weapons ought to be banned. It's like, dude, like everything's semi-automatic. They even understand what they're talking about. You pull a trigger, you can consider a revolver semi-automatic. You pull the trigger, next round loads in, boom, right? Everything is semi-automatic. We're not allowed to have automatic weapons. Civilians are not allowed to have. So let's just get that off the table.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot too.
Yeah.
In speeches and I know. But you know what, we're so divided. There's no middle. You either left or right, and everything that falls under those things is there's no middle. There's no middle ground. So
well, maybe we can help educate. I don't know. I'm not giving up yet.
well, listen, I would tell anybody, listen, as tough as it is to get it for a civilian, get it. Protect your home. At the very least, protect your home. If you don't want to carry it, that's fine. But protect your home, protect your family. Layer up your house with security elements to the best of your ability, alarms and locks and whatever your cameras, and have that firearm in there. And think about where it is. Think about where it's placed. Are you in a position to defend your family? Those things matter.
You have to be smart with this too, and like you said, put it in a proper place and store it. Especially if you have kids, you want to educate your children on the weapon,
sure.
and you also have to store it properly.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had my stuff very well taken care of, and but I also have my stuff ready. Oh, here's something that I wonder what they're going to do. Okay, so in the state of New Jersey, if you have a firearm in the home, it has to be with children. You have to have it locked, whether you have a trigger lock on it, or it's in a safe, or a box, or something like that, right? Well, now that we have concealed carry or open carry, right? If you're in your house
and it's on you,
it's on you, yeah, it's a whole nother thing. What are we supposed to do? Put a lockbox on our hip and carry it?
At some point, that'll be case law. Something's going to happen. It's going to go through the courts. Who knows what's the final outcome is going to be, but that'll be case law at some point in time.
I'm just praying that people do maintain, they're cool with this stuff and do maintain, the proper protocols, and then nothing happens, because they're all waiting for the first shooting. All waiting for it. Yet there are shootings going on right as we speak, right? Newark, Camden, Patterson. I think Patterson just passed Camden for the top for more gun deaths. Yeah, Newark's first, Patterson's second, and Camden's third.
Let me play devil's advocate for a minute. Let me tell you a quick story. I did firearms permits for years with my PD, and it was fairly easy just getting information from sometimes stuff, because no one was getting a carry permit, right? A purchase. Right. But I remember a time where we were about to give somebody a permit because we had to. Everything came through clean, but it turns out that we got a tip from somebody that this guy has some kind of gang affiliation.
Really?
So, we put our feelers out there, and then they didn't get much from anybody, the local PDs, but we did go on to his social media, which was open. And we saw a lot of things. It got so concerning that we actually consulted with the FBI, and they came in when they wanted to speak to him directly. So we had to bring him in for a review of his paperwork.
Wow.
And he sat down with FBI agent. He obviously didn't get the firearm,
right.
It was close. So on the other side of the coin, there is some due diligence that has to take place
Oh, yeah.
and see who we're giving firearms to.
Yeah, believe me, I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the funny thing I find in New Jersey is this: is that when you have, okay, so when you go get a new firearm, I have more than one, and if I want to go get a weapon, I go fill out my paperwork, and every single gun you get in Jersey, you have to get a separate permit for. You just can't go and buy it, right? So you get it, takes you 4 to 6 weeks, whatever it is, and then I go back. Go to pick it up. I have to leave it there for the cooling off period now. Again,
Cooling off period.
right. It's like I just waited 6 weeks, and plus you have to fill out. You have to get. You have to go and get references again too. Updated references. I mean, I just find that just really funny.
That's how it's going to be if you want to carry here.
Yep.
That's what it is.
I just find that funny. And then cooling off period. It's like, wait a minute, I have other guns already. Do you guys realize that? I have them. What I need this particular one to do it. And yeah, I just don't see too many. I just don't see too many crimes being committed by, by responsible gun owners.
Let's find that stat 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I want to see that one.
I want to see that. We have nice little. Well, the other thing is that no NRA member has ever been a mass shooter. Not one.
Where'd you get that from?
That's also out there. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I believe it.
well, and if you want to look at mass shooters, you want to look at the real problem though. Look at 97% of the mass shooters were either on or just coming off of SSRIs.
What's that?
These selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, like the psychotropic drugs for anxiety and depression.
What's the number?
Sorry,
What was that number you said?
97%.
97.
Yep, almost every single one of them.
Oh, how did that fall through the cracks? That's that.
Well, I've been talking about it for years.
Wow.
A couple other people, Michael Savage talked about it. Laura Ingham brought it up once on Fox, and then never heard it from it again.
Hmm.
The only one who's ever really discussed it at length is Savage.
This big farmer didn't.
Yeah,
Wasn't happy.
they said ain't happening, baby. And there's a whole bunch of statistics on that too.
That's another
Podcast, yeah. Well, I've actually hit one about the SSRIs.
I didn't know that. That's an amazing stat.
It's crazy.
You didn't know that one.
Yeah, I'll show it to you when we're done. But yeah, so where can people see over at our P3 training?
Yeah, we're at p3traininggroup.com. We're looking to help condition the public and get them used to what's happening in America and not deny it and act.
Yes.
Don't deliberate on what you're going to do. You want to help people know what to do and then do it.
Yep.
It's a new day.
Yeah.
And these active shooters aren't going nowhere.
Yeah, and don't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
You have to make the choice and get on it now. Get your training. Come down, see us at p3traininggroup.com. Hit us up. Get yourselves some training and be prepared. Because look, you know what? It's going to come to you at some point. Statistics do show that.
And we have some stuff online where we can, they're relatively cheap. We can get you through some de-escalation tips to deal with people before it gets violent.
Right.
And then what to do once it gets violent. And we also talk a lot about situational awareness. That goes a lot hand in hand with active shooter and responding.
Excellent. Well, listen, brother, great to have you on.
Yeah,
here.
man. Thanks, Phil. This is awesome.
Pleasure.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, all my pleasure's all here.
I hope to come back soon.
Oh yeah, you will be.
Thanks, man.
All right. That's been another episode of Master Phil in your corner. Thanks for listening. Strength and honor.